all week she has been in the studios, like I guess pivoting between the studios and this room, getting ready to put on a wonderful show that kind of like goes through everything that she has completed from more actually until now. So that's what this entire story is about, and that's why we gathered you all here today. So I'll be chatting with Jakia, just making stops throughout this single journey, stops throughout as we move through the gallery together, and you're all invited to listen and to soak it all up. And if this were a podcast, I call it behind the scenes. So Jakia,
that's a good one. No, nobody take that. Nobody have that.
So let's kick things off. The show is stunning. Thank you. It's layered and deeply personal. Deeply personal. Can you tell us where it began and what drew you to Denim as a medium?
Yes, so thank you all for being here, first of all. I see so many people I love so much here, and new voices, or new faces as well, so thank you all for being here. I always knew I wanted to be an artist since I was little, and then around 11 years old, I kind of zeroed in on fashion, and I knew I wanted to study fashion design at some point, but I didn't know. I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania originally, so I didn't know that was like a job or a career. And so I focused on fine art as well as fashion. And then at a national portfolio day, I discovered more, and I started taking young artist workshop classes and really saw the potential that I could have as a designer. And so from there, I just was laser focused on internships in New York City, making great connections, and just keeping those two visions alive, fine arts and fashion. And so my dream is to create paintings and also like utilize other amazing artists' work on clothing so that you can share it with a broader audience. And so my senior thesis collection when I was at Moore was sort of inspired by Mo Brooker, who was an incredible professor and painter here. I was very inspired by his jazz abstract paintings, and so the embroidery, that's all hand embroidery, was inspired by his brush strokes, and it took a lot of hours, and it was a very intensive labor of love, but that's when I sort of started understanding how much work goes into our clothes. And so it was a big juxtaposition for me, leaving Moore and entering the workforce as an assistant fashion designer and seeing how fast and how sort of forgotten the process was. So for me, doing this show, I really wanted to get back to my roots and just be very mindful of like how much time and love and patience goes into creating clothes. And knowing the maker, so I am the maker of all of these things.
We'll start here. I thought you explained this to me phenomenally, so I could not, share this with the group today. And one of the things that stuck out to me was the fact that you said glamour through the lens of the lodge. And I wanted to just take a moment and explain that.
So this painting is called Tali and Sons, and it is a interpretation, abstract interpretation of a photograph, which you'll see in a little while, of my father, my grandfather, and my uncle Barry. And they were members of the lodge, Himyard Temple, number 17 in Harrisburg. And I just remember at an early age seeing these images of them and just the dignity and pride of these men. They would have I believe it's called the Potentate Ball, and they would get all dressed up, and it was just community service. It was service to family and community. And I mostly was like drawn to their hats, the fezzes they wear with the tassels. And so I took sort of an image that exists and like abstracted it and created my own sort of like version of that. And so that's Tali and Sons.
Awesome, Tali and Sons. We're going to walk through and invite you to kind of like do that with us. You've done so much designing for huge brands, showing at New York Fashion Week with celebrities, and now this. Speaking about the designs and the fine art, and do you see your fashion design work and your art practice as two separate lanes, or is it all part of the same journey?
It is definitely all part of the same journey. I majored in fashion design and I minored in fine arts while I was at Moore, so I kind of jumped into working commercially as a fashion designer, but I always painted, I always kept painting sort of like close to my heart, but I never wanted to like sort of dilute that vision. Painting was always something that was like just for me, and so it feels really good to be able to share both sides of my artistic journey with everybody. This is like a commercial piece that I did while I was working at Fabletics in Los Angeles. So it's a designer bag. I worked as an accessories designer, a jewelry designer, athletic designer. And so that's sort of like one aspect of my career. And then this is a painting that I created. It's called Jamaica. My husband Andrew is half Jamaican, and so when I was like researching just different aspects of Jamaica, I found this beautiful blue grotto where people will swim with their horses, and it's like this electric blue sort of water, and it was just so inspiring to me. So I captured that on painting in a painting, and I just always liked having like both of these things like
Right.
that I
What a journey. Can you
Yeah.
just speak just briefly about this one where we head over in that card?
Yes, so these pieces are sort of like my cocktail collection. These are some of the newer works that I've made. These works have been created in the last year. So we have this sort of Yves Saint Laurent inspired bow with a pencil dress, which is plus size 16. I love inclusive sizing. I think all of us are various sizes, and so making things in like size 2 to 4 sample size just is so limiting as a designer, and so I always want to be like mindful of that. This piece, I love bows, and so I had this leather bustier, which was like a discarded sample from one of the companies I worked for, and so that's a big issue in like fast fashion. A lot of things don't make it out of the design room. And so when that happens, we just like throw away or destroy the samples. And so some of them I would keep and think, I'll do something with this at a later date. And so this leather bustier, I added these satin bows to it, created this cute little skirt, and it's like got a whole new life. And then this piece is this beautiful hand-beaded sequins fabric with ostrich feathers, which was all dead stock fabric. So when big designers do a collection and they have leftover fabric, they'll sell it oftentimes to like stores or like just get rid of it. And so this fabric I sort of saved from a landfill and decided to create something really beautiful with it.
Wow, it's beautiful. We're gonna go this way to LA.
Yes.
These two large pieces and just observe about
So these two pieces I created in Los Angeles, which is where I currently live. They're called Debit and Credit, which I'm sure we're all familiar with. But I tapped into like Lakers colors, and I love abstraction. I love abstract expressionism, and just as a creative person, I think very abstractly. And so for me, like a stroke, a line, a blob can tell like a whole story. And so I really love these pieces, and I think they can like work in a lot of different environments. So that's Debit and Credit.
we're gonna just take a swing through this area really quickly, right?
Yeah, so this piece is a piece I created in collaboration with a very well-known abstract artist called Norman Lewis. There's an organization in New York called Harlem's Fashion Row. So I was a emerging designer for that show. And I took a painting by Norman Lewis. I worked at an art gallery in New York that gave me permission to digitally print the painting onto cotton voile. I blew it up at 400 scale. I really wanted it to get pixelated so you could tell that it was manipulated. And then I created this jumpsuit from it.
Awesome. And any words for these two here
Yes, so this piece here is by my great aunt Teeny in Memphis. She was one of my favorite humans and just such a beautiful person inside and out. She painted, she baked, she was the president of the Horticultural Society in Memphis. I would be so lucky to be like in the same conversation with her. And so just thinking about her early beginnings, working on a farm as a sharecropper, working in a high school in Memphis, Tennessee, the fact that she painted and found joy within her paintings was just so inspiring to me. And I don't think in a million years she could imagine that her work would ever be in a gallery. So part of me having this fellowship in this show was really just like bringing my ancestors with me and giving her some space on the wall.
Awesome.
And
Speaking
then,
of ancestors
yes.
and paying homage, you want to talk about this? Or
Yeah, I'll just real quick. This is a beautiful tapestry of my father, who's somewhere in the room, right here. So, if you can believe it, this handsome gentleman is the infant. So, my father's the infant in this photo, and this is my grandmother, Edna Mae Talley, which is the Talley of Ingram Talley. I was very inspired by my two grandmothers in general, just the fact that this 5-foot woman raised these strong sons who all became Marines and fought for our country in Vietnam, all came home, all had successful, beautiful families. I really just wanted to showcase also the fact that they're wearing denim overalls, which is just such an amazing full circle moment. Denim can be elegant, denim can be workwear, and so that's this piece.
when you come in,
And so-
I'll let you share once they all come in.
So this I've been calling sort of the legacy room. This room, I really wanted to create an installation that gave just a little bit of space to my family, my husband's family, my beautiful family, past, present, and future. So there's images of my in-laws, my grandfather, my brother, my niece, my nephews. This is my other niece from LA, casually golfing with Obama. This is like a beautiful barbecue. And I feel like so many of us have these images in our brains and in our memories, but to see my family, sort of my friends represented like this is just really impactful to me. And nothing outside could have been possible without this. I am such a product of my amazing parents, my environment, and I just feel so lucky and blessed to be a part of such an incredible, resilient family. I know so many of us have these family stories, and so for me, I just really wanted to highlight that and share and showcase. This is my husband's grandfather. I never met him, but the image of him, he looks so sharp, so tailored. It could inspire a whole menswear collection. So thinking about just utilizing my family as my inspiration, and then my beautiful niece Ella as the cutest baby of all time. She inspires me so much, thinking about the future of what I want to design for women. I love my family. I've always been a person that's loved history. I love vintage fashion. This takes you through 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all of it. So when you get a chance, come take a look up close. This is Lavender, the star of the show, my dog. But this is my parents' wedding invitation, so just really utilizing all of the things that have inspired me over the years and just that move me. Inspiration comes in many forms for me. It could be a song, an image, a painting, a joke. There's so many things, so I really just wanted to give a little space to my beautiful family that inspires me daily. Thank you all so much, and we're gonna go back out and finish up. This is my cute nephew. He's in so many clothes as well. And my brother, he's also very much. He's just one of the Yeah, so I watched a documentary I highly recommend. It was on PBS. It's called Riveted, The History of Denim. And in that documentary, I was very shocked to learn that slaves actually wore jeans. They wore denim because it was such a sturdy, durable material that slave owners didn't have to buy them clothes so frequently. They could get them denim coveralls and pants, and then they could patch them and fix them. And so it kind of set me off into a journey of understanding where the denim came from, how much it took to create. So this is 2.2 pounds of raw cotton, which is how much it takes to make an average pair of blue jeans. And thinking about just how long it would take to pick this much cotton. Like, as you can see, like I don't know what that's called, but the little like bulbs are quite small, and they're very pointy, like pointier and pricklier than a rose thorn. And so when I think about myself trying to pick this, I couldn't do it quickly. I would be very slow and meticulous, and I just have so much appreciation and respect for anyone. Currently, this process still happens with human beings, so I just want to say that. But I just have so much respect for anyone that picks cotton and the labor that goes into creating clothes in general, but particularly denim. So once this cotton is picked, it's sent to a gin to be like spun and then dyed with indigo. But the idea that I have sharecroppers in my family, and then before that, slaves who picked cotton and then wore the denim that was a result of that cotton, it's just something that has been so inspirational. It's sad. It's just something that's a part of like our American history and our American journey. And so I really wanted to highlight that. Highly recommend you all check out that documentary on PBS. It completely did my head in. But it's really incredible to see all of you wearing denim. I hope you all keep it, patch it up, save it, don't throw it away, because so many people touch that material to get to you.
Right.
And also like acknowledging that in America, vastly it's usually using technology, but in places like China, they still use
individuals.
Slave labor. I don't know how else to say it. Because I mean, when you think about it, what would you charge to pick cotton?
Right.
You know, it's not a job that anybody really wants. And when you see $13 denim at Shein, that's like, it comes at a cost. Right. And so I just really want all of us to be aware of like, everything we wear, every single thing comes from someone. There is a maker, there's a sewer, there's a pattern maker. It's all a journey, and I really just want us to all think about and respect our clothes.
Absolutely. So thinking about history,
Yes.
and where we were and where we are now, you have some more denim to kind of take us through.
Yes.
Really quick with the actual denim wear. Can you tell us a little bit about this collection? And one of the things we give it is that it reminded her of war as a safe space, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so these are quilt squares, but in slavery times, like the Underground Railroad, they would use these different quilt codes to give messages. So this is the drunkard's path, which typically denoted don't travel in a straight line. Slaves believed that evil traveled in a straight line, so when you're setting out to escape from your farm, kind of zigzag your path. This is flying geese, so because these triangles are pointed upward, start north. This one particularly reminded me of more. It's the log cabin. Abolitionists, white folks, like non-slaves would typically have this pattern on their front door. And I recently learned that if it had a dark center, it was denoting that this is a safe place, but not right now. If it had a yellow or a red center, it meant you could come in, get a glass of water, take a break, get some rest, and then continue on your journey. This is the monkey wrench, which was saying basically if you saw this one, get your things together, there's gonna be a journey soon. And so now more than ever in our socio-political climate, I just felt like the need for coded language within art is so relevant. There's so many marginalized groups in America currently that really need our help and protection. And so if we can, as artists, create some sort of code or language to let people know you're safe here, we love you, and we're gonna help you, I think that would benefit all of us. I also, when I set out to make these beautiful denim pieces, I really wanted to save every part of the jeans as respecting them. And so these are the waistbands that went into making this and other items. These beautiful canvases were sort of just something I wanted to play around with, how I can use denim that's stained or dirty or just would typically be discarded or donated. By the way, if there's anyone who's thinking donating to Goodwill or Salvation Army, it's a great start, but typically they get way more donations than they can handle, so those donations end up in landfills. So if you can reuse it in some way or give it to someone else that can use it, it's way better. This is the bear claw quote code, which is representing basically follow the path of the bear. You'll see caves, you'll see berries, you'll see things to eat. This is follow the North Star, another woven with the waistbands, and just experimenting some more with just salvaging that denim. So
awesome. So these two beautiful pieces are one of the pieces she's going to speak with us about.
So this
queen
So when I set out to do this, I knew I wanted to create something really high-end and elegant with the denim that I was salvaging from the landfill, essentially. And so, go with me here, my journey, my idea was sort of if my queen Rihanna and Asa Rocky were to get married on a vessel on Mars, what would they wear? And so for me, the denim is such a sturdy workwear material. I also envision it being mixed and matched. So, maybe Rihanna's wearing this and then she puts the jacket on and she's exploring and gets chilly, or maybe, they use the skirt as a blanket. Really thinking about the versatility, but also really wanting something that's super high-end, super luxury. So this is a very historically accurate couture level corset with some cowrie shell beads and this 3-piece suit moment, utilizing just every part of the denim. So this proportion is inspired by the zoot suits. Highly recommend you research zoot suit riots.
Yeah.
That was a whole thing as well, but really thinking about how we can take things that are upcycled and make them into something elevated and beautiful that you want to keep and you want to wear for generations.
So we're going to finish this beautiful exhibition of fine art and fashion with a collaboration that Jakia did with our students, which is right behind you. So can we talk just briefly about that, and then we have a little something to share with you as well.
Yeah, so these are some of the pockets that I salvaged from the denim to create those looks. But then this quote was created when one of our professors, Alyssa, who teaches sustainability, which I'm very, very excited about as a class. We talked about laser cutting, we talked about just reusing scraps and how you can use materials that already exist. So we had the students create quilt squares And then they shipped those to me, thank you, Camille, in LA. And I got them and they were so random. And I was like, how do I figure this out? And so going back to those coded quilt squares, thinking about like creating some sort of art piece that has like my vision, my work, other artists, Cindy created this beautiful square, and putting all of our work together to create something really beautiful that can be functional. This could be a baby quilt, this could be a wall hanging, it could be so many different things, but utilizing scraps, I didn't buy anything new for this, you know, utilizing materials I had and the beautiful quilt squares the students made. So this
And
is our
Carla as
collaboration.
well, who is our powerhouse work study student, helps allow for these squares that are on here.
Yes.
So, with all of that being said, I think we have a little bit of a surprise from our
Surprise? What?
Let me just make sure. Just to thank you for your time and attention this semester. This semester and last semester. And Jakia has been in the studios with the students, not just today, but also at night, answering questions, being available to students both on Instagram and through text messages. Some of that is amazing. And we really appreciate you being a part of the program.
Thank you
right?
so much.
Yeah. So hopefully this was also an inspiration to the students as how far you can actually